spirit medicine, you need to be the alchemist of your own inner cauldron. You know the medicine you need better than anyone. Find it, make it, use it, and when appropriate, don't forget to offer some medicine to others as well. That's the general meaning, but if psychoactive medicine is indicated, consider the following, because medicine could be almost anything. It could be art, it could be anything that is an agent of change for the psyche or the body. And that could be change on the chemical or causal level or the alchemical level, as in some cases. Spirit medicine challenges the present equilibrium in a profound way that opens new perspectives and visions. Find your spirit medicine, which may or may not be something that crosses the blood-brain barrier. And remember that what works for someone else may not work for you, and vice versa. Also, what works for you when used consciously, sparingly, and in just the right circumstances might be disastrous as a habit. If you're using it to relax, unwind, mellow out, fall asleep, etc., you're not using it as a spirit medicine. Now, maybe it's appropriate in some of those cases, but often it's a way to burn out. Let's take the example of marijuana, which is legal in my state of Colorado. For much of my adult life, I had a very positive relationship to that substance because I'm not easily addicted by substances at all. So I would use it very sparingly. What I do is wait 3 or 4 days, exercising, eating right, and sleeping right. And then when I woke up after a particularly good night's sleep, I could do 2 or 3 bong hits and be lifted off the baseline of consciousness and write in an enhanced way for hours. Then in 2013, when I started working full-time on parallel journeys, which I can't resist plugging, you can read it free on the website or get it as a physical, Audible, or Kindle on Amazon. I was getting into an expanded bandwidth kind of state so reliably at that point that ever since, THC has done little for me. Sometimes would do something, but it's been declining. Now maybe that's an aging brain, who knows? But I think it was just that I learned how to reach that place of expanded bandwidth without it. And after all, people, because we are materialists, or in Western culture, I'm not a materialist, but lots of people are, we tend to give all the power to the object. We think the magic is in the mushroom and this kind of thing, and people will talk about ayahuasca and refer to it as a goddess and this type of thing. I think that there can be a morphogenic field that builds up around substances having to do with the human experience of them, but I don't think the goddess is in the mushroom itself necessarily. After all, give any of these substances to a corpse and not much will happen. It's our consciousness that holds the magic, and a substance may merely allow you to enter a neglected room of the psyche. So if you identify the magic with the substance, then you become hooked or obsessed with it. And similarly, this was a difference Freud pointed out between what he called primitive man and modern man when it came to objects of romantic infatuation, that the modern person would see all the magic, the numinosity in the glowing person, whereas the primitive man understood the magic was in the fire of the sexual fire itself, which in some ways gets closer to the truth of the matter, because again, no living person, no fire. so that the subject, the perceiver, is the one that really contains the magic that they project onto various things. Though some things have a larger hook for that projection than others and have certain magical aspects. Most people use mood-altering substances in a recreational way, not a spiritual way, and therefore have an addictive crutch rather than a spiritual ally. You can always tell when somebody's got an addictive relationship to marijuana when they say, I just want to smoke a bowl and go to sleep, or where they depend on it as a soporific to help them sleep or unwind, and therefore it's lost all value as a psychedelic. There may be cases where self-medication is appropriate, but that's a different category than spirit medicine and often becomes self-indulgence and addiction. Using substances for short-term mood adjustment is usually a weakening method, while accepting mood fluctuations as part of life and focusing on the next life-affirming action is a strengthening method. Consider this an auspicious time to evaluate how you use mood-altering substances, if at all, and whether they are allies or crutches. And once again, I apologize for the extraneous sounds. This is not a sound studio. There's a household of people out there making sounds. So for more, you could Google Terence McKenna and listen to any of his talks. My late colleague, and much of what he has to say is profound, but not, listener beware, always reliable. Tends to overgeneralize from the particularities of his unique experiences, for example. And but if you want more reliable info on psychedelics, go to Erowid, EROWID.org. At least last time I checked, it was an excellent website. And then there are some cautionary tales. There are 3 trip reports on the website. They're all linked up. 2 of them are mine, and they're kind of hellacious, but they can serve as good cautionary tales and give you an idea of like what you might be getting into with this spirit medicine. One is about a Savi experience, and one was about an ayahuasca experience. So, if you're going to use spirit medicines, don't make them addictive recreational things. Use them wisely with preparation. And as Jung pointed out, anybody entering the unconscious without a moral purpose is a fool and likely to suffer the consequences.